Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this edition of the 700 Club. Can you think back a few years when we had a president whose name was George Bush? And George Bush said, I want you to know Islam is a religion of peace. And I said, you know, Mr. President, we elected you as chief executive, not chief clergyman, and you're wrong. Islam does not mean peace, it means submission. Well, everybody has said it's the religion of peace. And they have done everything known to man to justify calling that a peaceful religion. Well, finally, the British are beginning to wake up, and British Prime Minister Theresa May is saying it's time to take tough action to stop what now is called radical Islamic terrorism after the latest brutal attack in London that killed 7 people and injured dozens of others.
ISIS claimed responsibility for the terrorist attack, and British police have carried out a series of sweeps in the East London area, arresting 12 people. CBN's national security correspondent Eric Rosales brings us the story.
This was the 3rd terror attack in the UK in the last 3 months. Counterterrorism sources confirmed to CBN News there is evidence suggesting the 3 terrorists who carried out the attack might have been planning to strike for months. The trigger may have been an ISIS message posted on Saturday on a website, calling on followers to use everything from a gun, knives, and even a truck to kill the civilians of the Crusaders during the holy month of Ramadan. As the makeshift memorials continue to grow, police are moving in, making arrests, 12 so far and more anticipated in the coming days. And we've been hearing firsthand accounts of those who fought back against the terrorists.
The taxi driver just swerved towards me and screamed out of his window, like, run, you have to run, they've got a knife.
And I went, oi, terrorists, cowards, oi. And then I picked up a chair, I was just throwing at them, trying to get him to chase me so I could get him out into the main road, to get him away, draw him out onto the main road so where the police could see him, obviously take him down.
Police unleashed 50 rounds, killing the 3 suspects. Prime Minister Theresa May saying it's time to say enough is enough and that the UK will have to take tougher measures.
We cannot and must not pretend that things can continue as they are. Things need to change.
May also said the attack in London may have been linked to the recent suicide bombing in Manchester by what she called the single evil ideology of Islamist extremism. Here in the United States, President Trump again called for his travel ban to be put in place and expressed solidarity with Britain.
I will do what is necessary to prevent this threat from spreading to our shores and work every single day to protect the safety and security of our country, our communities, and our people.
In Manchester, Brits remembering the victims of the last attack, vowing to stay strong and carry on, with Justin Bieber telling the crowd that God is good in the midst of evil. And that evil is an ongoing danger in Britain. Authorities there say that they have around 300 people on their watch list, but there is no way that they can look after them all. They believe more attacks could take place. Eric Rosales, CBN News.
Thanks, Eric. Our CBN News international correspondent Dale Hurd is with us now. He's been to London and Europe multiple times over the past several years, where he's covered the growing threat of Islamic terrorism. Dale, Theresa May says there's been too much tolerance for extremism. Things must change. Do you think Britain will really make changes?
I'm skeptical. She talked about controlling the internet. That's not really the problem. In fact, it's not really even immigration. These terrorists are homegrown. Britain is one of the world's biggest factory for terrorists now. It's what's going on in the mosques. But as we can see from other scandals like the rape gang scandal, where police reported criminal activity, but it wasn't acted on because of political correctness.
Is political correctness too embedded for the British leaders to free themselves from it?
I don't know. You know, Britain's a nuclear power, but as I've written, I think the most powerful weapon in Britain today is the fear of being called a racist. No one can free themselves from this, apparently, except, you know, some people in UKIP, but they're not on, you know, they're not on the level of a Conservative Party or the Labour Party. So you wonder what's going to stop this.
Well, what about the British people themselves? This attack came just days before a general election. Are the public going to make any difference in the way they vote?
Well, the latest poll today by ICM shows the Conservatives with a 10-point lead, comfortable lead. The Labour Party wasn't helped over the weekend when one of their members said one man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter. So, and long-term polls show the Conservative Party in Britain dominating. Labour is contracting in Britain, and these attacks won't help that.
All right, well, why, the Brits have got such strong anti-terrorism measures in place, and they have strong intelligence agencies. How come they keep getting caught by these things?
That's a really good question. They have 20 officers following each terrorist suspect, and I don't know why these attacks keep happening. You know, as I've said, they know when these terrorists are going to the bathroom. Okay, they have massive surveillance, and it can only be that someone at a higher level in the British government is stopping enforcement.
I mean, you really think that? I mean, this would be like a plot of some kind?
Well, the only other option is that they've gone off the grid with their plots, that they're not using electronic devices, and that may have been the case here, that they get together in someone's car or in someone's backyard and they plan a terrorist attack.
More coming in Britain or more coming in some other countries, where France or someplace else?
You know, yes, everywhere. I mean, in Britain, because even after this attack, you see the response from the left talking as if they're going to carry on as usual. They can't carry on as usual. Things have to change. But the left talks as if more people are going to have to die before something's done, because political correctness is so important to them. It's a core faith for them.
Dale, before you get off, let's define political correctness. What does it mean to you?
Well, in the case of Islam, it's a veneration of Islam. This barbaric religion, the left views as better than Western civilization because there's so much self-hatred of the West. You know, the West now in Britain and in Europe, it's a hollowed out tree. There's no vigor in it. And it's as if they want to hand over their society to barbarians from Asia.
So this is really a death wish.
Yes, exactly.
Dale Hurd, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't keep somebody from wanting to die. There's one thing, you know, you can help them get better, but if they want to die, it's really hard. And if the Brits and other people in the Western Europe want to die, if they figure that a society has come to its end and they want to end it, well, Islam is certainly providing them a way to do it. Well, you can find more in-depth analysis of the London attack on CBNnews.com, including what an ex-Muslim who is now a Christian has to say to Muslims about Islam and terrorism.